Hello there, I'm Sconchulus, and this is TEPPEN Deck Tech, where I present to you decks that are fun, strong, or interesting. Today I am playing Evidence Purple. Quick aside, regarding the big Ace Attorney case in TEPPEN right now, I think the perpetrator is obvious. There's only one person with a motive. We all know Larry Butz is innocent, and I think Dan Hibiki is an idiot. He's an obvious red herring. I think that Capcom intends us as the Ace Attorney players to prove the innocence not only of Larry Butz, but of Dan Hibiki as well as Abigail. Anyway, today we are playing Blackout, which removes one enemy unit with 3 attack or less from the game. This will make more and more sense as we get into the card by card. First of all, we are playing Statue's Eyes as well as Forensic Survey. These both do basically the same thing, lower one enemy unit by 2 attack. The difference being that Survey allows us to ramp 1 MP, and Eyes, instead, costs 1 less and only works on units with 3 attack or less. To get the most out of these cards, try to use them when your attack will hit before their attack. If you want to use them both in the same chain, use Forensic Survey and then put Statue's Eyes at the end of the chain. Next we are playing Cyclock, which allows us to cheat out one of our big bosses, as well as Miraculous Awakening, which allows us to recycle one of our units. We are playing 2 Midnight Encounter, which does just about everything. It protects a unit, it allows us to get over and win games. Next, moving on to our units, we are playing Cody Hackins, an extremely efficient 3-drop 3/3 who collects 3 evidence. Of course we are playing 3. We have 2 Judge, who when played collects 4 evidence, and on death consumes 2 and draws us 1 card. We are playing 2 because we have 2 EX pockets for him. We have 3 Maggie Bird, who while on the field protects us from any direct damage. If you saw the last episode, you should have a good idea of just how strong this card is. And 3 Emma Sky, which is one more way for us to lower enemy units' attack when played, which makes her unrespondable. She even collects evidence. Tying it all together is 3 Godot, who while on the field does take 1 more damage from any damage he would take. This is entirely a downside, but his stats do make up for it. The reason we play him is on death he will consume 2 evidence and place a random unit from our hand on the field. This turns our other units from individually strong into a powerful engine. Moving on to our legendaries, we have Helpful Medium Maya, who Godot can play for free. You might think this isn't the greatest if you don't have legendaries in the grave to fuel her, but her just becoming Godot is more than enough. We have 1 Beguiling Empress Nevin, who is a late game bomb that can be tough to deal with, as well as Fearsome Witness Trish, who is a game winning card all on her own. When attacking, she consumes 1 evidence and halts an enemy unit. This combined with agility allows her to shut down your opponent's entire offense and attack for free. If they do succeed in doing damage to her, she will lower that damage by 1. Lastly, we have 1 Brainwashed as well as 2 Guest Prosecutors to steal units. You might think that's 1 too many, but that's exactly what allows us to win the game. Guest Prosecutors even allows us to ramp 2 mana if we have the evidence. Here's the deck QR for you, and with all that said, let's get into it. Game 1, we are up against Shieldspire. This is a deck that a lot of people have high hopes for going into the next format. Let's see how it stacks up. We opened basically the God combo of Emma Sky and Guest Prosecutors. They throw down an ideal target for us, Eastern Light Ayashu. We get a little greedy and wait for its Summoning Sickness to wear off. We can just throw Emma Sky down right in front of it to put it back below Guest Prosecutors. Let's try this one again. Game 1, we are up against Felyne Shieldspire, which should be a pretty good deck in the next format. We try to shuffle Trish back, but she is stuck to our opener. Thankfully we draw Cody Hackins, one of our best early units. We play him down in the top, and our opponent will play Iris down in the bottom. She will allow them to ramp MP by 50%. We play Maggie Bird across from her and draw into Brainwashed right off the top. Our opponent will play Wood Sprite Sakuya, which will allow them to boost one of their units anytime she attacks. They will shield one of their units, and we will use Midnight Encounter on Maggie Bird. The chain resolves, and I'm trying to decide whether I want to steal Sakuya or Iris. They will play Dick Gumshoe in the top lane and put Shieldspire on top of him, hoping to generate a little evidence. They will play Evasive Action to reset Maggie Bird's stats, and we will take this opportunity to steal their Iris. The MP boost is too good to give up. Off the top, we draw into Guest Prosecutors another steal. We will use this on their Sakuya when they free up the top lane, not giving them any more boosts off of her. Our opponent activates Blade Shattering Defense, giving Dick Gumshoe 3 HP and 1 shield. We'll activate Statue's Eyes, lowering his attack by 2, putting him below Blackout. This removes him from the field before he can generate any more evidence. Our opponent will play Blanca and try to use him to generate some evidence. They'll use Inquiry Whereabouts, one of the most efficient evidence collectors. We'll use Forensic Survey, and they'll respond with Cody's request without evidence. We'll use Statue's Eyes at the end of the chain. They'll put Shieldspire down on Blanca, and finally succeed in generating a little evidence. We're getting in for good damage with all of the units that we have stolen. They play another Iris. The top lane is still open. Our Maggie Bird is flying right over everything. They play Cody's request, finally with a little evidence, but it looks like it might be too little too late. We play another and the writing is on the wall for Shieldspire. Let's move on to Game 2. Game 2, we are up against Evidence Black, another brand new strategy enabled by Ace versus the People. Let's see how it stands up against our Evidence Purple. Once again, we open the almighty combo of Guest Prosecutors and Evidence. This time we open Judge and will play him in the top row once we charge a little mana. Our opponent will play Roxy right across from him, and we will see if we can get over them with Midnight Encounter. This is probably a bad idea. Black usually has a Destroy, but it looks like this time we get away with it. We'll play Cody Hackins in the bottom, and they will play Poison across from him. This is what really brings the Black Evidence strategy together. They will overlay Roxy for Tube Foxes, and we will play Maggie Bird, who they will attempt to destroy with Rules Are Rules, giving us a chance to steal their Tube Foxes. Unfortunately, the Tube Foxes will take 2 damage from Poison's Death Trigger, and they will play Sigma. We will play Emma Sky down in front of Sigma, hoping to potentially save our hero art, and they will respond with Whipped into Shape, destroying our Emma Sky. On resolution, Sigma will go back up to 2 attack, and will decide he's really too dangerous to allow to have his revenge trigger. With an open field, we'll play Godot in the top row, and our opponent will respond with Dreadful Business, which destroys a unit and redistributes their HP. It's at this moment that both of us learn the interaction these 2 cards have, and Godot's HP is given to a unit that can actually use it. The Judge now has 15 HP and is moving in for damage. We will attempt to give him Midnight Encounter to make him even more threatening. Our opponent has nothing to do about it. The Judge will get in for 4 damage, and they will play Gate down in front of him. They will play Tube Foxes, and we will use Emma Sky to deal with that. They will activate Despair, Wail, and Punish, the best comeback art in the game, and we will use Cyclock. They will respond with Sharing Memories, which will destroy all units, and in this case return itself to the hand. We'll use Statue's Eyes just to draw a card, and they decide they would rather heal than reuse their card. Everything is destroyed, and Cyclock sets us up for Trish. The field is wide open. We'll play Cody Hackins, hold Trish back for a moment. Our opponent seems to be charging up a bit of mana, no worry to us, we can hold Trish as long as we need to. They throw down the brand new legendary Abigail, and we will play Trish right in front of it. They respond with Rules Are Rules, which will deal with Trish effectively, but we have Miraculous Awakening to put her back in our hand. We lower Abigail's attack by 2, making him an easy target for Blackout once again. We play Trish down, this time for full MP. She is once again taken out by Rules Are Rules, but we have one more chance to play her with helpful medium Maya. Maya's attack is met by Roxy, which will not be enough to stop her from channeling. She becomes Trish and is back on the offensive. They play Gate down in front of Trish, and we play Nevin before Gate is destroyed. They play Despair, getting a few units. We destroy Gate and Nevin heals. Maya returns to normal, and they attempt to return a couple cards to their hand. We try to lower Roxy's attack by 2, and this gives them the opportunity to destroy Maya. This has the upside of healing Nevin a little more, making Roxy an easy opponent for her. We will play down Godot in the bottom lane, and snipe off their poison so he takes no damage. They have only 4 health left, and we are nearly full. They will play another Roxy as well as Gate, but even with that, it's hard to imagine any way out of this for them at this point. They'll play Spreading Infection, one of my favorite cards, but this late only for 2, it's really not gonna cut it. Godot will get in for the final hit, and we are on to Game 3. Game 3, we are up against Denjin Renki. This deck didn't have the best showing in the last episode, so hopefully this time we can show off a little better what this fearsome deck is all about. We'll start off with Judge, playing him a little quicker than in the other games. The key to beating Denjin is all about having the right amount of aggro for all of their actions. Our opponent will deal with our Judge with an efficient 2 MP play, 2 Chains of Fists, and they will play every red player's favorite hiryu Strider. We will activate Guest Prosecutors to steal Strider, and they will activate Sun Goddess. This card is basically Denjin in a card. This will give them more than enough damage to destroy Strider in just a few actions. They will do so using Fists of the Fire Wyvern, as well as 1 announcement poster. We'll take this time just to charge our mana. We'll play Godot in the top row. We don't have any evidence for him right now, but hopefully we can collect a little before he's destroyed. We'll play Maggie Bird in the bottom. They will play the Blue Badger, as well as Wendy Oldbag, activating Denjin. Now, any effect damage they do will do 1 more effect damage. But for now, they are just collecting evidence with Wendy Oldbag. Doesn't seem like they got any value out of their Denjin. We play another Maggie Bird. The Blue Badger is defeated, and they play Cody. This card can be very difficult to deal with, as well as ill-fated Queen Himoko. If she is destroyed, or if they ascend over her, she will wipe our entire field. They activate their last Strider card, we activate Psylocke, and they activate Sneak Attack, the Denjin special. We activate Midnight Encounter on Cody. He's as good a target as any, getting over their Cody. They activate Denjin. Maya will transform into Godot. They will activate their last Fist of the Fire Wyvern. We'll play Emma Sky in place of the Cody they destroyed. They'll activate Mortal Enemies. This card does up to 10 damage. I always just assume it does 10. We'll play Nevin down after Godot is destroyed. She will defeat Cody and go up to 4 HP. We'll play 1 more Godot, and they will use Agent's Memories to destroy Nevin. I don't love to see her go like that, but trading a legendary for a legendary is fine by me. We'll lower the Blue Badger's attack to 0, so Godot will be safe, and they get in with Sneak Attack. We'll play the Judge, and they finally ascend over Himoko with Julia. They activate Denjin. We'll charge our MP a little bit and try to disrupt their game plan, at least somewhat, with Brainwash, taking Julia. They will respond with Announcement Poster, getting in for 3 direct. This is suddenly looking very close. We'll play Cody Hackins down in the top lane. They'll play Leon, destroying him. We knew it was coming sooner or later. We'll use Blackout to destroy him. We still have a charge and a half of Blackout. We'll play Maggie Bird in the bottom lane to protect us from any further direct damage. They'll play Cody. That will definitely be met with a Blackout from us. They will activate Denjin. The pressure is on. Our health is 3 to 4. They will activate Chain of Fists. We will respond with Midnight Encounter. They'll activate Sneak Attack. We will activate Miraculous Awakening, and they will activate Chatterbox. Maggie will just barely survive to protect us from the direct damage. She returns to our EX pocket. We will play Godot in the bottom lane. If anybody can do it, it's him. It's wide open. We'll play Emma Sky in the top. They will play the Blue Badger. We'll activate Blackout right when Emma Sky is getting in for the attack. They will activate their last card, Rescuer's Bullet. It's one last chance for them to stop us from taking the game, but it looks like Godot gets in and we walk with a close game 3. Here we are again, and I am proud to present a deck that I believe to be fun, strong, and interesting. It only took us 2 episodes to get here. I think the biggest strengths of the deck are the 3 copies of Snatch Steal we play, as well as the hero art, which has never felt more at home. If we're allowed to get past the mid-game, any one of our debuffs become the most efficient removal in the game. I didn't have a chance to show it off, but Emma Sky into Blackout is an unrespondable answer even to the legendary Sengoku Titan. As far as matchups go, green is almost a free win. None of their legendaries stand a chance against Blackout and our steals. Felyne, Chun-Li, Larry Butz. If they play a Rajang, that is our Rajang. Red would be the same story if Godot didn't play so bad with Burn, but I would still lean towards it being in our favor. Black is a little harder because of their removal, but Blackout is such an efficient answer to Tube Foxes, Akuma, Poison, that the matchup is more than winnable. The only decks we really struggle against are certain aggro decks like Slow Purple that make it more difficult for us to play midrange, but if we are allowed to run our game plan, the deck feels unstoppable. I would recommend the deck to any midrange players as well as anybody who is sick of losing to green. Moving forward, expect to see a new episode every Friday. As for the next episode, let me know down below whether you would rather see evidence green or evidence black. Please like the video if you liked the video, subscribe if you subscribed. Once again, I'm Sconchulus, and I will see you in the next one.